Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Drop Frames. What episode are we on, JP?
1 second. Let me look that up. I think 280, 291, maybe.
Oh, you're actually going to do the research and not just going to make some shit up?
Yeah. I should. We should know this, but I think it's like 291 ish. Let's go with that, and I'll find you the actual number here, Zeke.
Right on. 291 episodes of Drop Frames. How does it feel to be on the 291st episode? Skinnedteen, SeriouslyClara, not serious. Seriously.
Well, now I'm offended.
She's
That's
serious.
how I feel.
If you guys had that on your bingo card, make sure to mark that off. Zeke offends one of the guests. Sure, that's the free space.
In under 5 minutes.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you didn't notice, JP handed me the reins today, which I'm more than happy to take if we're going to be talking about indie games and the love therein. Let's start by introducing our guests, starting with Skinnedteen. Hello.
Hi, chat. I'm here in the flesh today.
Yes.
You guys know me. I feel like I need to close the. Could you turn the TV down a little bit? I can hear myself. He's downstairs watching. What would you like me to say? Just I play all kinds of games. I really like horror games, but just indie is really kind of where I live.
Yeah. For those people out there who might not know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, I've known you for many, many years, and I'm really glad that you were able to be on the show. So tell us about yourself. Tell the people out there.
That's a good point. There's probably a lot of people who don't know who I am, who are watching. So I've been doing this since about 2014, and my big kind of shtick is not what I'm doing right now. I don't usually use a webcam. It's a very kind of memey, not serious stream, and I play a lot of horror games, indie games. I play AAA games too, but I mainly stick to kind of the weird, obscure stuff that's out there, because that's just who I am as a person. So
you're weird and indie as a person.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you get your start? How'd you get on the Twitch.tvs? Or were you around with Justin or not?
I was around, but I wasn't really watching a whole lot. Like, I had a friend of mine who just kind of introduced me to Justin TV. She was big into StarCraft, and she was like, I wasn't employed at the time. She was like, you should do this, and she introduced me to like a pro StarCraft player, and I was like, this guy's really good at the game. Who would watch me? I'm not good at games. So she's like, no, it'd be great. And a couple of years later, I found myself, I finally had a job. I was working from home, and I was using Twitch kind of as like background noise. And I was playing stuff as well, just for fun, and kind of dabbling with recording. And then I finally thought to myself, I'd like to give this a shot, because my work from home job, which I didn't always work from home, was video production. I would go out, I would shoot people doing testimonial videos, or just, I'd shoot B-roll. I'd be out for 9-10 hours a day doing this, and I'd come home and, play video games. I didn't really want to sit in front of a camera. I didn't want to do the thing that I was doing to people for 9 to 10 hours a day. So I was like, I don't want to set any of that up. Let's just go. And that's kind of how it started. I honestly, from the video game standpoint, I was like, I want to finish The Witcher, because I tried to finish it like 3 or 4 times, and I couldn't get through it. And I was like, maybe if I record it and stream it live, that'll hold me accountable. And somehow it took off after that. I don't know. So
was it? Did you ever experiment with doing cam stuff, or was it always just like not a thing? It's like not into it.
I did it first. I played around with different stuff, and at the time that I had started, I was in an apartment, and it was like July, so it was really hot in there, and I had not a great setup, and I kind of canned the camera idea. I think I did one cam stream where I was playing like Torchlight. That was about it. I'd kind of put it aside after that, though.
You remember your first game that you streamed?
Like officially as as going for streaming, it was The Witcher. When I was just kind of playing around with streaming, it was definitely Dota or The Ship were the first
Dota?
things that I kind of streamed. Yeah. Yeah, I used to play Dota with friends.
What? Oh my
Yeah.
god. I can't imagine you being like a competitive gamer.
I wasn't. We would play against bots because I'm
Oh,
not a
okay.
competitive person. The couple of times that we played against people was awful. It was terrible. I hated it.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Let's.
Well, hold on.
hey,
Before you go, I got
Oh,
where'd the name come from? Why Skinnedteen?
Oh, good question.
That is a really good question. I have this habit of I've had it ever since I've had the internet of just naming myself something weird after like a horror character or like a band or like a song name. And so it's that's kind of, every account that I've got somewhere is something like that. I've never kept with the same name. And so when I registered this one, I wasn't intending on streaming with it. I just, it was just a name that I used to go watch people and
Ditto.
keep track of who I was watching. And then when I went to go stream, I'd asked a friend, I was like, should I change his name because it's kind of stupid, or should I go with something else? And she was like, no, keep. She goes, no, keep it. It's metal, and I'm a big metal fan, so I was like, okay, all right. And I didn't expect it to go anywhere. Like a lot of people I think get into streaming, especially nowadays, with it, taking off as a thing, and that was never on my roadmap. I was just like, I'm gonna stream some video games, So the fact that it took off and now it's a business to me it's mind blowing, but challenge accepted. So
Sure.
that's really what it came from, and it's like an obscure band from the 90s.
Well, I have to say I love your Twitter naming convention as a itmeJP. Hi, I'm Jade
Yeah.
is very good. It's a great twist. That
I was
I'm very much
gonna
a fan
say,
of.
yeah. I was gonna say we have that commonality, and people probably mispronounce yours all the time.
Item
whereas people
JP,
think-
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I've actually had people laser etch that into product that they send me. So I have a couple of item JP somethings somewhere, like
Yeah,
a graphics card or maybe a capture card. I think has that on the side of it. It's great.
I get him Jade a lot.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, I didn't know I knew your Twitch name before I knew your Twitter name, so I was looking for Skinnedteen, and I finally found, I was like, is she
That's
really
yeah.
into him, like the band? And she just
Yeah,
like had
no.
to put an extra I in there. Like, I get
No.
it. I mean, it wouldn't be that far, like the Bam Margera, like
Yeah.
shit, like
There was a
I
hot
get it.
second where I listened to them, but no.
Yeah.
No. Just a hi, I'm Jade. That was something I was experimenting with as like something else I had done. But yeah, I left it because when I went to go find Skinnedteen on Twitter, I was like, I do not want to put TTV behind my name. No offense to anybody who has to, but I don't want to do that. So I just left it as hi, I'm Jade, because whatever.
I just
That
searched
is-
Skinnedteen and it says I hate you in the bio. I was like, that could be you.
I mean, it seems like it could be me, but it's not.
Follow.
I just like to know that, like, the fact that you had a similar name story as I do. Like, my name came from like an improv sketch or not an improv
Yeah.
sketch, but like a comedy sketch that was written between me and my friends and shit. And I just love that you're like, yeah, that's kind of stupid, right? Like,
Yeah.
well, 8 years later, here we are, I guess.
Yeah. When JP messaged me, he was like, would you prefer if I called you Jade or Skinnedteen? And I was like, you can definitely call me Jade. It's less stupid and it's less of a mouthful than saying Skinnedteen. Like I'm well aware of how stupid it is, but here we are.
Good. I'm glad you asked or glad you said that, because I was going to ask, like, I swap back and forth between like who actually knows you or follows your Twitter or whatever, and who doesn't. So I have to like switch back and forth between Jade and Skinnedteen, and yeah, Jade, good, excellent. I'm glad I know now. All right,
Yeah.
Clara. Since I'm the host, I'm gonna segue into Seriously Clara. Hello, how are you?
I am doing vertical. I am awake. I'm conscious. I have tea, and I'm upright just for this.
Just
stream.
way too early for you?
No, I had an 8 a.m. call. I'm on the West Coast, one of the slowest time zones in the world, so I suffer. I suffer every day.
I'm with you, man.
Otherwise, I'm
Like,
great.
no one gives a shit about mountain time. So I was like, all right, what's going to be easier math for me? Eastern, which is 2, like +2, or Pacific, which is -1. I'll do -1. So I always do all my times in Pacific. So yeah, I know. Pacific time.
Otherwise,
So who are you? What do you do? What's your thing? What's your deal?
I tricked Devolver into hiring me
I
earlier this
know.
year.
Dude, that was
They
so
were my
dope, by the way.
client when I was at the agency for over 2 years, actually, prior. So, we knew each other for a little bit. And one day I convinced them to adopt me as a full child instead of a half child.
Mm-hmm.
And some fool said, okay. And now I'm there as a full in-house influencer employee. I also stream indie games on the side. Wait, no, I gotta match Jade's opening. Uh, hey, Pa, turn down the milker. And also my other names are Dusty Taint and Bloody Boob. Skinnedteen. Well,
Those are
sorry,
some
Jade's
AIM
intro was just
like
too
names,
cool.
dude.
With the X's.
Just
XXX
too cool. Your
underscore.
intro was
Yeah.
way too cool. I can't match it. But I started streaming uh bajillions of years ago. Like 7 years ago? 6 years ago? I can't do
I think
math.
you've been doing it about as long as I have, yeah.
Yeah. 2014. So I did take some time off. I took time off here and there, but on and off for the past 7 years. It's crazy seeing the sub numbers because I've been partnered. I was partnered in 2014, and so the day one subs when in chat they're like, yeah, whatever. Are you freaking crazy? That's such a high number of months. And I want to redo my. I'm totally going off in tangent because I'm ADHD, but I was gonna get my sub
Do it.
badges
We got lots of
redone.
time to fill, so go.
And I was like, how many sub badges? How many slots are there? And she's like, one for every half year and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, 25? I looked up like, oh my God, this is insane. So yes, I started streaming actually Guild Wars 2. That was my start. Hated it. Absolutely hated streaming. I did it because I was promised in-game gold, which I got. So I literally did it to get a legendary.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
Nice.
Wait a minute. They gave you like in-game stuff just for streaming?
No, not like the game. Just like people in the PvP, because I used to PvP. Like people in the PvP world would. I don't know why they wanted me to stream, so I streamed once every few weeks or so,
Oh, so this
and
was
they
like a
would give
bet with
me
your your
gold.
people.
Yeah,
Like,
it wasn't.
wow.
They weren't my people, but yeah, it was like if you stream, I'll give you 100 gold or 100. Yeah, then I was like, okay, I will do this for an hour, and
Oh,
I
wow.
absolutely hated it. After a little while, I got into it. Some bad stuff happened, and then I got partnered eventually. Started playing other AAA games and other MMOs, and then switched to retro games because I've been a gamer all my life. And then one day I said, F it. I'm gonna I never streamed for a job. It was always a hobby. So, and it will always be a hobby for me. So I decided to switch to indie games and just like I'm not here for numbers. I'm not here for a career. I just want to have fun and share like some new things. And then I got really involved with the indie community here in Vancouver, BC, which is huge. I spoke at
Oh,
one
the
of the
Couve?
summits.
I've been to the Couve, man.
Home of the Cougars.
Still trying to make that a thing.
Watch out. In fact,
Couve.
Inscryption, the game that just came out from Devolver yesterday, is made by Daniel Mullins here in Vancouver as well. And I started hosting Twitch Vancouver meetups. So meetups, we were the first community meetup for Twitch, I think, in the world, and we helped to advise on the official community meetup program. And now they're all over the place. And did that for a little bit. Got hired at an agency before I even knew what influencers really were and what they could do, but I was pretty heavily ingrained in the Twitch community and the dev community. So, with that unique set of skills, I conned my way into the gaming industry, which is what I've always wanted to do all of my life. But I applied at EB Games, which is the Canadian GameStop. It's owned by GameStop. I applied 3 times and never got hired.
It's EB Games.
EB Games, Electronic Boutique.
Yeah, we had
Oh,
EB
okay.
Games here in the U.S. as well. At least
Yeah.
in Texas, I did.
Yeah, I think it's all under the GameStop umbrella.
Yeah.
And the first time they said I was overqualified because I was doing site ops, and then the second time, I think they warned me not to apply again, and I applied the third time, and they just ignored me. I just literally wanted a part-time job, doing my I just want to sell video games. I just want to talk about and sell video games to random strangers all day long. That's
Who
all I
is
wanted
this
to do.
chick? Stop applying here.
Stop it. Just stop it. And also, you're banned from the store.
She's really intense. Can you talk to her this time?
I just realized early on I had absolutely no talent. So I can't program. I'm not gonna ever make my own video game. I can't write games. I can't draw. So figure my way out. And so that's actually one of the questions. And whenever I go on panels to talk about stuff, it's one of the questions I get asked a lot is, how do I get into the gaming industry if I have no talent? And I'm like, okay, follow my steps.
Do you have like an instructional video out there somewhere?
No, I have panels on how to get into the gaming industry. With no talent. So yeah, kind of.
No, I just picture you on a late night infomercial, being like, "Do you want to be a Twitch, or do you want to be in the games industry? Follow my 10 easy steps."
Here's my Amazon list with referral links to all the equipment you need to buy.
Now I want to film that. Now I want that to be a thing. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So after that, here I am. Long story short.
What was your first like job title in the game industry?
Influencer relations manager.
Oh, really? So you jumped right into that part?
Yeah. I put out a tweet. I was working in provincial government before this. I'm in health. And I put out a tweet that said, like, if I was looking to work in them, like, would anyone at all hire me? And then from there, I got headhunted by a few companies. And then the agency, one of them approached me at PAX West, PAX Prime for life, but PAX West, at a random dinner. I said, hey, still looking? Because we'll take you. And I was like, okay, sweet. And I was there for part-time for a few months and then full-time.
Now, just a question for both of you. Like, you feel free not to answer if you don't want to. I will tell you that I'm a college dropout. I went to one semester and then never went back. Or there's a whole bunch of reasons, but I just never went back. Did you guys like go to college for this kind of stuff, like schooling, whatever?
I graduated college for web and graphic design many moons ago. So I am a college graduate. But it's not really for this, you know. I use those skills, but no, it was community college.
Oh,
the Kansas City, Kansas Community College welfare stamp. I don't know.
Fighting good enough.
Yeah, the fighting good enough. Yeah.
I have so many opinions about school in North America, but I'll just say that it wasn't for me. It's one of those things that, I mean, school came easy to me. I grew up in a traditional like academic family, Asian academic family. I did my first couple of years of credits of university while I was in high school. Learned I absolutely hate school. Still went to University of British Columbia for a semester, just like you. Zeke, I went to about 3 classes and then dropped out because that sucked for me. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to sink in a bunch of, well, at the time, I guess it was my parents' money, but I didn't want to be in debt for something I didn't know what I was going to do with. And then I figured out that from my friends who all had degrees, my older friends who had degrees, all worked jobs they didn't like and weren't in their field. So I decided to just work for a little bit. I have done a lot of different jobs, but I have made it my goal since then to always be highly employable. That's the goal. So I'm never worried about whether or not I will be employed. I will always be employed because that's my goal. School is not my goal. However, the other half of that plan is when you get into a good job, they will pay you to go to school. And I think that's how it should work.
That's fair.
So that's how I got any amount of education is I'd approach my employer and be like, do you want to invest in me? Because I like you guys and I would like to stay and be a better asset. Can you pay for this course for me? And they're like, okay.
Dude.
That's like
most, most
long-term
places like
con.
that. Yeah, I've only really had 2 office jobs that I held for a while. And they always paid for me to go learn stuff. So that was a big plus.
That's some fucking galaxy brain shit right there. Like I wouldn't even think to ask for that. You know, like going to a job and be like, hey, I like this place and I want to be better at my job. Maybe you should pay me to go to school so I can be even better at this job that I do for you.
My wife went and had Harvard teaching, like schooling, because of Twitch.
Oh wow!
So now she holds that over my head. Like, I fucking passed 4 classes at Harvard, bitch, with honors.
Like, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll go pick up the food today.
Yeah. Aaron is a huge inspiration to me. I'm actually really considering going back to school for a couple of courses in business and marketing now, because I found out the X-Men school is on the island next to me, like the school where the castle they filmed the X-Men movies at.
Really?
Professor X's. Yeah, it's called Hatley Castle. And I went to see it. I'm like, this place is dope. And most of their courses are online, but they send you over for a couple of weeks a year or something for like.
So it's an active school?
It's a full active school, one of the pioneering schools in Canada to do mostly online. They have master's degrees and graduate stuff. So you can get your full MBA there. And
you should do that.
So
yeah, you should do that and then just take photos during class. Like, just like Professor X was here, just bring a bald cap. Take a photo. Cyclops was over here, you know. Bring a visor, it'd be great.
I'd like to I wanted to ask, does Aaron put Harvard educated on everything now?
No, no. She doesn't even hold it over
totally
me.
Would.
That was me and my own. She doesn't even mention it. I bring it up all the time to like.
She answers the phone. Hello, Harvard educated Aaron.
This is
legally change that for you. Change your middle name.
Yeah, no, she does not, unfortunately.
All right. Well, on this, could you pass this Harvard educated person?
Yeah.
Stop holding it over my head.
Yeah. Okay, we get it.
This is the part of the show where I kick it over to JP and I say, "Hey, JP, it's time for some news. Let's talk about what's been in the news lately, and then we all discuss it and talk shit about whatever we want."
Sounds good. I did the research. This is episode 291. I guessed correctly.
Okay.
So there you go. We do have a little bit of news. We'll cover the gaming news first, and we got some Twitch news as well with some new stuff that they're throwing into the mix. Kind of sorting by what's been the hottest tracking stuff, at least on Reddit. Elden Ring got delayed to February, and now it's created the craziest 5-day period of video games in quite a long time in February of 2022. Funny enough, there was some news this morning that God of War is coming to PC now in January of 2022. I kind of think that PlayStation said, hey, move your fucking date. Get the fuck out of January. We want to launch God of War. You can take a week or a month extra to work on your game. Give us some space.
You think?
I don't know if PlayStation has that amount of pull. I don't know if those deals get done behind the scenes, but I would not be surprised. I've been watching a lot of an HBO show that deals with power moves like that, so it's probably all in my head. But wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I could see it though.
Yeah.
I could see it because it's just 2 huge games in a small promotion window. It makes sense for them to want to space it out, you know?
Yeah.
Then again, I mean, Elden Ring is such a huge game. There's going to be I would have been surprised if there was 0 delays. I really would have. In this day and age, I would have been surprised if they were like, yeah, we feel everything is fucking working. Unless it was unless they were going to give us a turd, wrapped in gold. Like, hey, look at this thing. And then it's broken when they give it to us. Yeah. I would expect delays on any AAAs, big, huge games like that anytime in the future. I would bet the line on all of them being delayed.
Yeah, probably right.
100%.
So it takes January 14th, God of War does. Monster Hunter Rise on the 12th for the PC launch. And then the week of craziness starts on February 18th with Horizon Forbidden West. Then leads into the 22nd, which sees Destiny 2 The Witch Queen, which is a big expansion that'll feature the next raid, as well as Sifu out the same day. And then 3 days after that, Saints Row and Elden Ring come out on the 25th. So there's a lot of games.
Wow.
towards the end of
Yeah,
that month.
that's a lot.
I will
That's a
tell
lot.
you that when I was at the agency, when things like this happen, any publisher that is smaller than whatever company's delaying immediately have talks and like, what should we do? What do we do? Should we do? Should we move? Should we do whatever? Oh my god, do we have more time? Yay! So it does happen. The power play moves. I'm not going to comment on, but it's definitely like those big dates are watched by everybody because it affects everybody. So yeah. And I to Zeke's point, like I expected more companies to have announced delays sooner, to be honest. Like the pandemic has really halted a lot of things in general, right? Like even digital companies are affected in some ways because they deal with manufacturing. They still do deal with so many like material products if they have any physical releases, for instance. Like it's unless they want to release, Witcher 4 COVID edition or whatever, or like I feel like everything is released now without getting delayed that requires these like physical manufacturing and whatever. Like it's just going to be pandemic edition because it's going to be stunted a little bit, and I expect to see more and more of these, and more power to them because as long as they get the funding, do whatever it takes to balance your work life and get a quality product out.
Yeah.
Have you seen like in your experience with the industry, have you seen like games that were scheduled to come out and then a big game like plops down on their date or close to their date that they're going to release? Like, do they like put like they have you seen them like push the date back just for that reason, or do they just like grin and bear it because they have to, come out on time? Like,
Have definitely seen both. I mean, like you
both.
can't.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, you can't always change the date. Depends on how close it is. Sometimes you just
right.
do the best that you can. Change your embargo dates so that people can play it earlier and maybe try to get out ahead of that way.
Mhm.
There's a few other, and then like put certain marketing around it and time that. But there's some times where you, especially if you've got like contracts and agreements with like other platforms, certain platforms were like, we told Nintendo we're launching this date. You just can't change it sometimes, most of the time. But oftentimes, if you get enough lead time, yeah, people will change their dates 100% because
Yeah.
they don't want to get crushed.
Yeah. I wonder if there's parties like if the converse happens. It's like, oh shit, this AAA game is coming out, and did you hear they pushed it back? And they're just like, I'm taking everybody to Sizzler. Woo!
Yeah. We're going to
Champagne
Shoney's.
bottle.
Woo!
Pancakes for
I would
everybody.
imagine, because I mean that gives them a little more time. It's always great to have more time to work on something like that, to space it out instead of, not.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Cyberpunk. We all wish that would have had more time.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
The minutes and minutes we've had conversing about Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah.
Cyberpunk's in the
Also,
news as well.
I
So
felt left out.
Oh.
So
that's
I gotta
true.
put
Welcome to the Glasses Gang.
put my glasses back on.
Oh my god.
Glad to have you
I
here.
didn't even realize
Yeah.
that. That's something I noticed about Squid Game. There's a lot of people on that show with glasses.
Haven't watched it yet.
Spoiler? No.
I think I'm the
I
one.
haven't either.
Me and Zeke are the only two people on Earth that haven't seen it. And now I
Well,
won't.
I gotta
watch
pay
it.
attention to it.
Now I'm not
it sucks.
going to
I gotta
watch
pay.
it.
I gotta watch the subtitles. I gotta pay attention to it.
I know people.
That, yes.
I know people would suggest watching it with the subtitles in the original Korean, but I watch it with the English dub, and it was kind of funny. So I would,
better.
give it a chance. It was kind of funny.
Okay. All right. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Moving along in the news, some fun / kind of did it to themselves type news. So last week on the 12th, Call of Duty tweeted out this amazing image. Dear cheaters, we love games. It's our passion. We're honored to make games for the greatest fans in the world. We don't always get it right, but we're committed to doing it our best. Cheating ruins the fun for everyone. No one likes a cheater. Our goal is to deliver a fun and fair gaming experience for our developers, for our fans, and most importantly, for Call of Duty players everywhere. Cheaters aren't welcome. There's no tolerance for cheaters, and soon you'll know what we mean Call of Duty. They spent the next day announcing and boasting their anti-cheat program called Ricochet, only for 24 hours later, that to be leaked and already being reversed. So you can just hack. So,
Double ricochet.
good job.
Wow.
Oh man. And also, someone brought up a good point. Did it say dear cheaters?
It did say dear cheaters. They egged them on.
Jeez.
As someone who streams for a living and has been in this industry for so long, the worst thing you can do is say, hey, don't do this to me, or please, like, you can't do this to me, because then that's a challenge.
Yeah.
You don't give them a challenge. That's number one.
Yeah.
That's the rule of the internet. Don't give people a challenge, because then they'll try to challenge it. So there you go.
It's ridiculous. It's like telling like children, like, don't you touch this bag of vegetables I got. Don't you do it. It's forbidden. They'll eat the vegetables.
Yeah.
My favorite part of it was the last line, which was like, "Soon you will know what we mean."
Yeah, it was very
So-
like, we've
so
solved
ominous.
cheating. It's like, dude, that's
Yeah.
not how that works. Yeah. It's not.
Dude, oh, there was a guy. Oh God, he advertised for a personal ID theft, a security something system. He's like, I trust our system so much, I'm gonna put my social security out there. And he put his social security number out there, and he just got fucked.
I think that guy
Oh, I
got the
remember that.
LifeLock
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
I think he got sued to shit as well for doing it. That guy was an idiot. That was the CEO of LifeLock. I remember when that happened.
Yeah.
I remember that now,
dare you. Like, oh man, there's billions of people in this world, man. Like, come on.
Many of them are
All
smarter than you,
exposed to me.
most
Yeah.
likely. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
it's
you're
true.
like, that's the internet's the last foe I would choose. Like, if there's a man coming at me with a knife, I would choose man coming at me with knife over internet. Like, I'll fight that
I
man
bet
with a knife.
I bet
I'll
on
fight
internet
the
to
internet.
win. Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
Bet on internet.
It's a good bet.
The internet will destroy my entire soul.
That's true.
And everyone I love.
Actually, I was on an episode of CSI, and I was man with knife. You can see it in the credits. I was in the background, but
Nice.
What,
I was
really?
there.
Big
No.
acting.
Oh, that's
Acting shot here.
amazing.
Some more stuff about a small indie game called FIFA over at EA. A lot of cause and effect type stories. So EA was potentially shopping around or talking to people about dropping the name FIFA from their popular soccer/football franchise. And the reason is because FIFA is apparently asking for $1 billion for the naming rights every 4 years. So I could see why that would be a thing that EA doesn't want to pay. It's also just insane that FIFA can do that, and they're not necessarily crazy for doing so. I think the number that I saw was that FIFA's earned $20 billion over the franchise or something like that. So
They are comic book superheroes. We want $1 billion for
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
you're not wrong. That's crazy that's the
I've heard nothing but evil, awful shit about FIFA.
Yeah.
Like all the news I've ever it's one of those 100% everybody knows FIFA is dirty, at least a little bit dirty, straight up nefarious.
The
Yeah.
obvious power move is to rename it FIFA FEEFA.
They
Yeah,
could.
I wish they would. They could maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I had no I
I
never
love
think about FIFA, so this is all news to me, but also not shocked at all about any of it.
Well, it's a weird story, right? Because we're all like, wait, are we on the side of EA? Do we?
Yeah.
Oh God,
what,
you're right.
what terrible universe is
God.
this? Yeah.
We want EA to win here?
Oh
Question mark?
shit! I gotta pick between the Empire and Mordor. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then, there's the other potentiality that if EA doesn't buy it, someone's probably willing to pay that $1 billion franchise naming, right? So then they just get the game called FIFA 23. And then now they're just buying that instead of the EA FIFA, right? So I don't know. It's a little wild. We'll see. We'll see what comes from that.
I like where Clara's head's at, but I think it's got to be closer. I think it's got to be F_LFA. So it's got to be like
Yeah.
FIFA, but in all of the fucking advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They should probably do something.
Did you get FIFA 22? Oh man, it's great.
Just change it completely.
First FIFA game I'll ever buy
Yeah.
is just to see FIFA.
Let's see, what else do we got? Ubisoft finally, according to some sources over at videogameschronicle.com, has greenlit a new Splinter Cell. They're very early on in production. I think they actually
saw
just
that.
did this recently.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if they have a title or anything around that, but people are saying that we might be seeing something sometime next year. So maybe at E3, an announcement of sort. Don't know who it's so early on. Who knows if like Michael Ironside will be back, or if even Sam Fisher is a part of that, or what they do. But hey, new Splinter Cell. I think a lot of people would be excited about that.
Yep.
I just saw Michael Ironside in something recently. I can't remember what it was, but it was
Man with
something.
gun?
Yes, he was man with gun, opposite my man with knife in the CSI.
He won.
We were both in.
Yeah, he won.
We were
Bigger
both
name.
in there. Yeah, he just told me to drop it, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, drop that knife. I'm like, oh god. No, but his like, his voice like is so iconic, and you can pick it out from anywhere. But man, he looks rough. Like last time I saw him, like him personally,
Yeah. I mean,
like he does
looked
not
rough.
look like his voice.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to look this up because I'm like, well, what was he in? But he's in a bunch of, the only thing that caught my eye was something in post-production called Super Dicks. And I'm like, okay, I don't think that was it, but
Nice.
he's still pretty active. There's like 7 things that are in post-production.
Yeah, man,
Nice.
he keeps busy.
Yeah, yeah. I mentioned it briefly, but this morning, I think it's kind of interesting too that it shows how big of a thing this is, even though this game's been out for 3 years now at this point. God of War is coming to PC. We talked about the launch date, but having someone that visits a lot and sees a lot of just social media traffic around different things, this was announced 3 hours ago, and it's already got more comments than like giant stories from a week ago. So I think that was probably a pretty good call from Sony to put that out on Steam. It's already up on the store page. You can find it on Steam if you want to pre-order and all that crap. But yeah, people seem to be excited about it. I think it also opens up the door for Bloodborne to potentially pop up there, as there's rumors about that being remastered or redone or PC port or something like that. So
the elusive Bloodborne on PC rumor that has been plaguing us forever.
Yeah.
Or like Demon Souls coming to PC at some point, which I think Sony will maybe loosen up on that, because they're starting to bring more things over, like Horizon and now God of War.
Yeah.
So
I mean, God of War is probably one of their biggest franchises. As of August 2021, it had sold 19.5 million copies on PlayStation 4. So the fact that was locked to a single console and did that well, I think kind of speaks volumes.
Yeah.
For comparison's sake, Monster Hunter World, which is something that is on a ton of different platforms, just announced and also did the whole double dip thing where they put it out on consoles first, then you had to buy it again for PC X amount of months later.
Yeah.
That just crossed the 20 million mark globally itself. So different type of game, maybe a little bit more niche than God of War, but still, God of War did that on a single console. So
what are the main upgrades from PS4 to PC? Probably, I mean, the FPS.
Yeah, this says native 4K frame rate unlock. There will be shadows at higher resolution. DLSS will be in there. NVIDIA Reflex will be there, which is like a low latency technology type deal. You'll get ultra wide support, joystick and keyboard support. I think they have some trailers. Are these PC trailers? I have not seen these yet. Let's see if these are running on
I wish
PC.
they'd give you something, like give you like a voucher or some shit like that, like that you could put in like a coupon code, like I bought the original game. Can you give me a fucking discount on the PC version?
Yeah.
Maybe pay full price for this, because I'm gonna.
Yeah. So this is
that's why they're not gonna do it.
That's right.
That's exactly it.
This is a 4K 60 video. Obviously, this is a 1080p 60 stream and a 1080p video on YouTube. But if you have a chance and you've got a 4K monitor or something like that, definitely go check this trailer out. That looks pretty remarkable and might warrant
I'm
another
watching this
playthrough.
in my living room later.
Yeah, that looks crazy. I can only imagine. I would assume it's going to also have some sort of HDR technology built into it as well, because the original God of War did. So
I'm totally gonna have to buy this again on PC. That
You know,
sucks.
yeah, I'm thinking the same.
I don't know if you saw Danny O'Dwyer's tweet about it, but he said, like, I can't wait to see the God of War replaced with Lady Dimitrescu, and who do you have as boy? Like he was like,
I saw a lot of Thomas the Train is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
serpent, the world serpent. Yeah, the mods are going to be hilarious for it.
yeah.
I could see like Bart Simpson and Homer doing this,
You-
like a mod for that. That'd be really good.
Oh my God, so many father and son
that
teams
would
you could
be
put in
great.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great.
You could also
It'd be
do
like-
a Joel and Ellie. That would also be a lot of fun to go
That
through
would
this.
work,
Joel.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna say,
wow,
Jane?
that'd be
I was gonna say it'd be like Lady Dimitrescu, and then like Nemesis would be like the boy or something, just like a really small version of him,
Yeah, that would be
or like
great.
the Moonanites
Rick
from
and Morty.
Aqua Teen. Rick and Morty. Yeah.
Oh, Moonanites would be incredible. That'd be so good.
It's
I'd
got to
play the
be
shit out
Worf
of
and
that.
Worf's son.
That too.
I
There's a
don't know what
lot. See,
Worf's
that's
son
why
is
it's also
called.
fun that it's coming to PC because you get a lot of the mods.
Mhm.
dude. Like I'm gonna show a little bit of my age here and go like, what about Sanford and Son? And every time he says boy, you replace it with dummy. Dummy,
Yeah.
get over here, dummy.
You could. You could. It'll be a lot
There
of
better
fun.
be 50,000 Steam achievements with this.
Yeah, I would think. Do the other PlayStation titles have Steam achievements linked? Like, how does that?
It's freaking better.
I wonder if they just take the
I don't know.
PlayStation trophy system and like emulate that onto the
I-
PC.
I'm
Steam
guessing.
stuff.
I mean, I played Horizon Zero Dawn on PC, and there were achievements, so it's got to be
Yeah,
the same. Yeah.
that makes sense.
I played Katamari Damacy Reroll recently, again, for like the 50th time on Steam. And there were achievements, but there were like participation achievements. Like you did the level.
Huh. They just
There
made
you
like
go.
the easiest ones possible, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then two of them which are like just suddenly extremely hard. It's like thank you for participating, and then also give up your life for the next week to do it to get these last two.
Hank,
We're-
Hank and
I
Bobby.
really we'll continue with the news, but I really need to circle around on Katamari, and I need to know like what. Okay, I just wanted to bring that up now.
Okay.
When we get to the games portion of the show, I need to know like what the Katamari, what the deal is, because I played it a couple of hours and I was like, eh.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
No. Just small little tidbits here. Phil Spencer was saying that Xbox is staying out of the VR hardware space, so you won't be seeing a VR headset coming out of Microsoft anytime soon, which makes sense, I suppose. There's no really reason to jump into that, especially if you can use someone else's hardware in the future to interface with the Xbox or PC somehow.
Did we ever talk about like how did Sony do pretty good with their PSVR, or did they lose and making money, losing money? I don't know.
I mean, it's enough that they're going to be doing. I think they said they're going to be talking about new VR stuff for the PS5 next year. Like they're making another one, another SKU, another headset. So I guess it did well enough.
It
For
did
the
better than
money,
a lot
it
of
is
people
still
thought.
it's still the best VR for the money.
Yeah.
Like you can get better VR headsets, but you're gonna pay 3 times the price. It is still like it's super comfortable and easy. I mean, like I'm not even fucking get paid to say this shit. The PSVR is something like I was amazed at how good it was because it felt cheap as fuck. Like I was like, this shit is flimsy. My Vive is like 3 times heavier than this, and I was like, you know what? This is great.
True.
How much was it?
I still don't have VR.
400, I think.
I think that was
400.
400. Yeah. I mean,
I have the Quest 2. It's pretty dope, but I have to switch glasses to wear.
right.
Oh
yeah. Glasses users seem to have an issue with VR.
I
it
had
turns
some
out.
concerns about that. Yeah, I there's a few reasons, like the glasses for streaming. I'd have to like kind of figure something out, and then like I don't have a ton of room in this room to do it.
It's got, like, a
and I'm
little
not
spacer
the most
thing.
graceful person, anyways. So I don't know. But there's so many like janky horror games on VR that I want one. At this
Yeah,
point, I feel
it's
like I
kinda-
need one, so
It's become
Yeah.
the home of janky horror games. You're right about
Yeah.
that. There's also really good ones too for the like PSVR. Obviously, it's the only place you can play Resident Evil 7 in VR.
Mhm.
Still,
yeah.
so it's a pretty big attraction to that headset.
Man, that
Which
was a
is
hell of an
arguably the best.
experience too. I'm glad I was able to do it.
I think that is most of the big news for the past week. There was a bunch of just like game updates and trailers for different things. DC showed a bunch of stuff alongside all the big movie trailers on Saturday at their Fandom. Stuff for Gotham Knights and the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. But Didn't get any gameplay out of that, so it was more just kind of story updates and story rehash on those trailers. But yeah, I think that's it for the news.
Are you guys Marvel, DC, anything? Do you guys do comic like superhero shit? You into it at all?
I used to read them.
I read them from time to time, and then I'll watch the TV shows. So I'm a casual fan. I do kind of keep up, and I love. I'll never shut up about Marvel Heroes going away.
What is
The PC game.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a Diablo style MMO. I thought it was great, and
It
it's
was.
gone. And I wish somebody would make it come back.
It was
but
really weird. They took that away. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
How
Yeah.
old is it?
Sorry, go ahead.
I think that went away in like 2016 or 2017, and it came out in maybe 2013.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
They
Yeah.
shelved it so that Marvel's Avengers could come out,
Gotcha.
which obviously,
Yeah.
we've talked about that for a long time on the show.
Yeah, it kind of had a similar play style to what's the one Marvel Ultimate,
Alliance.
the one that's on. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. It was an
which
ARPG.
I like that one too. I play that one too. So
Totally. Yeah.
I keep up. Yeah.
You were
I
gonna
don't play
say, Claire?
any superhero games, but I mean, like growing up, I used to read like all Marvel comics, and I wasn't as into DC. Like I'm not like Marvel versus DC girl, but like I was definitely heavier into Marvel than I was into DC stuff. And I became casual for a while. I've watched every single MCU movie. I think I did the whole like gauntlet of them, and I love them, but I know that they're also pretty stupid. However, with Loki and like so some of the offshoots have really kind of rekindled my desire to go back to the comics, because now they've got like Eliath is in there, and they've got like this possibility of Immortus coming back. Like there's just like it's the freaking like Marvel comic universe is so vast and diverse and crazy that it's like the possibilities for MCU are like endless now that they've unlocked like the multiverse and so I'm into it, but it's the theories. That's all just in my head. And I recently picked up a comic called Ice Cream Man, and I love that.
Nice.
It's like a crazy ice cream man.
Sounds
Is that a
good.
Marvel comic, or is that just
Yeah.
a comic? You just decided to
That's
just
a
throw
weird-
that in there, like, hey,
Yeah.
by the way, Ice Cream Man's great. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
Sponsored.
Now that you said it, I've been influenced.
It was like 99
Speaking of that,
cents.
what do you think of the word influence? What do you think of the word influencer, you guys? I just want to know, like, what's your opinion on? I know, I just like,
I
curious.
have strong opinions, so I'll say.
I don't. I initially I kind of recoil at the idea, but I understand its application, and I can't say that it's incorrect to use it. So it's kind of where
Yeah.
I'm at with it. I don't necessarily like call myself one, even if I am one.
Yeah.
So influencer is in my job title, and it has been for the past 5+ years. And before that, I didn't like the word influencer either, but I wasn't in marketing, and now I am. So it's a term, and it's unfortunate that it's a real word as well, like just the word influence. And I feel our society here in the North America is very, very sensitive to feeling at all duped or taken away from personal agency. So, like, for 2 seconds, if someone believes that someone else implanted an idea in their head, they're like immediately on guard. And I'm one of those people too. Like, no, all the thoughts in my head are my own. All my ideas are original. I'm 100% Clara. No, that idea is a little ridiculous. So we are influenced by like our friends, our family, our coworkers, everyone around us, media, and the people that we watch. And so I have grown to love actually that term, because the idea that I can share, and any of you out there who are streamers can share something you love and know that you are impacting them in a positive way, and allowing them to see something and be exposed to things that you're interested in, that they'll be interested in, that also benefits the developers and creators who make the stuff that you're interested in, branding opportunities, all that stuff. It all comes from positive influence. You can absolutely have negative influence, but those are not obviously the people that I'm talking about. And also there's some
Right.
negative connotations with like the Instagram influencers, the travel, beauty, blogger like influencers. Gaming influencers, in my mind, are completely like a different world from that like lifestyle influencers. And I think that's what people kind of see and associate with that word. But influencer is simply just someone who has some marketing appeal and some stickiness to the things that they touch. And as long as they're doing it responsibly, transparently, I would never ask anyone to hide because that's a huge part of my job, especially at the agency, was like almost half my work, if not more, eventually had to do with paying streamers and YouTubers to play games. And the culture shift over the 4 years or so that I was there was massive. It was like, "Ugh," like such a dirty word to like the opposite of like, are you paying me? Because I can't stream the game. I've got like 20 other companies courting me. Like it's like totally shifted. And their viewers have also shifted. And now they're like engaging happy. Like, I want you to get your bag. Like, this is the dream, to make money doing something you love, right? So viewers have come around to like, okay, they're not, they can't do this for free forever. And this is good.
Right.
And I have bought how many games because I watched the stream that like, this is good stuff.
I agree.
And
Yeah, as
yeah,
somebody
so
who's kind of in the mid tier of Twitch and having to adapt to that, like I could see the tide turning in that direction of needing to acquire sponsorships and get the bag, as you say, and um, that was a bit of a weird mental shift for me to adapt to, but it's lucky that the the public perception has also pivoted with that, and it's a positive thing. If I do raid Shadow Legends or something, my viewers are like, "All right, let's go," Yeah.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what makes y'all awesome, right? Like the fact that you can do something and they believe in you, they trust you. I hate that word
Mhm.
authentic, but I do have to use it often when I talk with clients and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
this is authentic representation. They're ambassadors, blah blah blah. But it is true though. Like, viewers are not stupid. They can spot a fake a mile away. If you're just like spouting crap and they know it's just for the dollar, they can spot it. And you know what? Sometimes it doesn't even matter because they just want to support you and they'll do whatever you ask them to because at the end of the day they love you. So how can you not love that? And I will never fault someone for not wanting to call themselves influencer. The times where I get a little uppity is when they outright like admonish
Deny it.
that term. If they
Yeah.
like are out there and they're like, I am not an influencer and I hate when people call me that. Well, like, okay, then stop applying for review codes. Stop like asking for sponsorships. Do not fucking get paid for it because we don't pay you to be a nice person. We pay you for your influence. We pay you for your marketability. And if you don't embrace that, that to me is being a sellout. You're not being truthful. That's like my angle on things. If you want stuff from companies, you are doing a business transaction, you're entering the business world, you are an influencer, like it or not. So if you don't want to call yourself that, that's totally fine. But don't crap on something that is literally putting food on your table. You're lying to your viewers if you're not being transparent and open about your business.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
I like it.
Yeah. I think that the influencer thing, I don't mind being called whatever as long as it's truthful, as long as it's something I do. And yes, I am an influencer. I do influence people to, whatever, buy games or toilet paper or whatever,
I want to be
But
sponsored by a toilet paper brand. Like, hell, I poop.
dude, I poop too. I poop too, and I use
I'm so
Charmin.
passionate about Charmin, man.
These are gross. I
It's
don't do
good
that
poop
at all.
paper.
Ugh.
I use a lot less of it though now that I got a bidet though. I will say I use like probably 80% less than I used to use, but now that I got a butt wash. Wonderful.
Hey, invite me back when we do like a bidet stream because I can talk forever on it.
We'll stream on a bidet. We'll be on the bidet. And
Yes.
we won't be showing it, but we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Bidet stream.
As far as the like the labels go, like I think the people I know I had a problem with it, or not a problem with it, but like influencer, it's the same. It was the same problem that I had. Just it's a twinge when I was doing stage stuff, and they would say, "All right, the talent." I'm like,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm the talent. Like, look at all these other talented people here. I can't be the talent, right? I'm not that guy. But it's a term that, like, yes, it's truthful. Yes, it's. I think the biggest problem is you feel pigeonholed. You feel like that's not all I am. I'm not just an influencer.
I've
I'm an entertainer.
I've never cared at all. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
is. Maybe that's just my personality, but I've just never cared. Like when I was
I'm pretty indifferent to it. Yeah.
yeah. If I'm an influencer, fine. That works for me. Great. Like I've been a person of many, I guess, titles in the industry, and it's always like, cool, yeah, that works for me. Like I'm myself, but if you want to call me that, sure, let's go for it.
I mean, you're all such diverse people in what you do. You're creators. Like, does anyone balk at that? No. You create content. You are
Yeah.
an influencer. You are an entertainer. You are an asset. You're a brand tool. Like, but no one's out there going like, "Hello, brand." Well, actually, I am. Sometimes I just send emails saying, I literally will send DMs and
Hello,
review codes,
brand.
and I said, "Hello, influencer. Here's your code. Do influence now."
Yeah. Well, I also think that there is a at least for myself, my like vocabulary will shift depending on the type of person that I'm talking to and what their role is within the industry. So like if I'm talking to an agent, then I'll immediately be like, yeah, so what does brand think? Right. And I don't say that type of shit to anyone else other than like someone who's working in like marketing or in an agent position. Because if I'm just like talking to chat, like, oh yes, we've got brand here, they're gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
But that's just kind of how it's gone and how it's been, I think.
Does your business card say product mouthpiece?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The other, I did read, I forgot, it was at a rather well-known publication. But I think within the industry at large, maybe not our industry, but maybe just, Clara, you were talking about like the beauty industry and, all the movie industry, all that type of stuff. They're starting to call this the age of the influencer now, right? Like the big brands, the prestigious brands, the car brands, whatever. They don't look at commercials the same way anymore. They try to figure out what influencer they can get attached to their stuff because it's more likely to work than just like a straight up brought to you by Lexus. It's more like, hey, if that person is driving a Lexus, people are more inclined to like, open their eyes to say, well, maybe I should
Matthew
look at a Lexus.
McConaughey made me really want a Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's right.
He doesn't come with the car. You know that, right?
They say that, but maybe he does. Yeah. So it's really interesting to see that type of stuff. And it's not anything new, right? I think that the age of the influencer has been around for a while, but now we're starting to accept it a little more within our corner of the industry or corner of the world, in video games and whatnot.
More than that. It's being celebrated now. So it went from like reviled to accepted reluctantly to now it's celebrated. She's like, oh my god, bloody faster! That's my girl on the freaking Elgato box or whatever it is that she was. Like they're celebrating it, and then seeing people on like Times Square, like the thingy, the marquee, like it is celebrated. I'm watching Project Runway season 6 right now. This is like 15 years ago or whatever, and they're constantly going like, please borrow generously from the Macy's wall of accessories and sponsored by Saturn. Like no one bats an eye. This crap's been around forever. So yeah. Now you're part of it. You've made it. You've all made it.
It's true. That's very true. Did have some Twitch news to move on a little bit with that. Some of the stuff that is actually, I think, started populating the chat 2 days ago, or maybe it was yesterday. The first time chatter highlight is now a thing.
I noticed that yesterday. That is fantastic. I love it.
I like it as well. I have not seen, and I'm looking kind of at the blog post, and I could share this so everyone can see it. I have not seen if you have the option to like disable this. So if the first time chatter does not want the attention, they don't have to have the attention, because that it can be a little daunting, right? When someone types for the first time in a chat with X amount of viewers and they're like, oh shit, like the broadcaster just mentioned me by name. Now everyone's focused on me type deal.
It's like it's sort of like a bot calling out, thanks for coming to the stream, and that was such a socially unacceptable thing to do for a while. So I do like it, although all week that I've been seeing it, like it's been accompanied by the weirdest people saying the weirdest stuff
It's
as
true.
their first time chatting, and I'm
Well,
like, that's
yeah.
really that's your first message?
It could probably be exploited, right? Like
Yeah.
it could definitely
Yeah.
be exploited if someone just goes and makes a new account and then wants to put a little bit of an exclamation mark on something. They don't have to wait for
Mhm.
channel points to do like a highlighted message. They could just say something in chat for the first time. So yeah, I think you'll have to definitely be on the lookout for that type of stuff. But as it says here, you can toggle it off if you don't want it. And so
Okay,
the
good.
broadcaster
Okay.
does have
Good.
that
Right.
option. Though I don't know if the chatter has that option.
Yeah, I would hope it would be them that would be
Be on the
Oh.
chatter, yeah.
Right here. Does everyone see the first time chatter highlight in chat? Only the creator and mods can see the first time chatter highlight.
Oh, what?
There you go.
I've seen first time chatter when I was watching streams yesterday.
Really? Were you like
Yeah,
a
random
VIP
chat.
or anything by chance?
I
Or
don't think so, but that's interesting.
yeah, I guess it's a moderation tool. That's way different and cannot be exploited potentially, in the way that I was saying at least. So
Yeah.
it's good. Hey, they actually thought through a product. Like, round of applause for Twitch there. I can't poke holes in that. It's good stuff. For everyone else, this is what we have seen, chatters. It says first time chat from viewer.
Yeah.
We see it a lot. I've seen it a lot today. A lot of first time people here. And I think
I
as
think
a
they need to
broadcaster,
test
that's
it.
great. What were
Yeah.
we saying?
I think they need to test it because I saw it a bunch yesterday. I was
Yeah.
watching like 7 streams at a time all day because
Game launch and stuff. Yeah.
But like, yeah, no, I saw a bunch. There's no way I was VIP/mod in all of those channels. So
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of testing is required.
Or maybe the streamers just like snuck in a mod thing there without you knowing. Because you are,
Yeah.
I mean, you're seriously Clara. You know, you're a big deal. You gotta make sure they're making Devolver
Yes.
happy, right? By proxy.
Mhm.
What else do we have? There's another thing that Barry linked me here that I'm just going to read the tweet. It says, over the month, some viewers may see up to 3 new buttons on live channel pages: rewind the stream, remind me, and watch trailer. This experiment will inform future features only, and the buttons will be removed once it's complete. And then it linked to a Twitch user voice for feedback. So I don't know if I have those buttons, and I don't necessarily, they didn't explain what they do, although I think kind of self-explanatory. Remind me is probably for like a
Ring the
stream
bell.
schedule or something. Yeah. Watch
Something like
trailers.
that, yeah.
Watch trailers is utilizing a thing that has been in place. I still don't have a trailer on my channel. I don't know about if you guys do, but I've never had someone say like, hey, I watched your trailer for your channel and now I'm going to become a full-time viewer, right? They just tune in live. There's no discoverability on the platform anyways.
I've had somebody tell me that, but it wasn't like that. It was, I watched your trailer. What are your rates for video editing? And I was like, no.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least they said video editing though.
Yeah,
They said
yeah,
it
yeah, that's
wasn't
true.
the- what are your rates for foot stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Live rewind is kind of interesting though. I don't know
like
if that
live
just
rewind.
if that just pulls like straight to the VOD, or if it is truly like a timeline that is now on streams where you can just like YouTube rewind to whatever you want. Yeah.
That might be. Yeah.
I've not interfaced with that thus far, so I don't know necessarily what it means, and I haven't seen anyone in chat, as I think this just went live. Yeah. An hour and 17 minutes ago. So it's new or newish.
Sorry, is it for everybody or just like select people, like a slow rollout?
It is. I just closed the tweet. 1 second. I think it says some viewers may see up to 3 new buttons.
So some viewers, not some channel, some viewers.
Yeah. And it is an
That's
experiment,
interesting.
and they will be removing it once the experiment is complete. So might not
That
stick
happens
around.
all the time.
Yeah, they
It
do a
happens
lot
all
of
the time.
stuff.
So, like, what just happened? I just missed it. Like going back like 5 to 10 seconds. That's freaking phenomenal for me. Like for clipping purposes, for
Right,
just like
yeah.
stepping away. Like people feel like they miss less that way.
Yeah.
And they don't have to like freaking don a still suit to watch a 6-hour stream.
That's right.
There, since I am who I am and I play games, you know, with wonderful mediocrity, sometimes people will be like, "Oh my god, I stepped away for 5 seconds and he beat that boss that he was on for the last 3 hours, shit, it'd be good for those people.
Yeah. A lot of questions like, does chat is chat also rewound with that as well? I don't know if it just keeps the chat live. Barry in chat says that live rewind will not work if you have VODs disabled, set to auto unpublish. So at least that's what he was told.
That makes sense because
I
you
mean,
can
like, you
kind
do
of
it picture in picture. It doesn't have to be like fully robust. Just people literally just want to see what they missed visually, and yeah.
And then the last bit of Twitch news, not really anything platform wide or platform changing, but it is a interesting thing from my point of view as someone who does watch parties and knows a lot of people that do watch parties. Coming out on November the 6th, Twitch has partnered with Netflix and League of Legends so that you can stream the first episode here on Twitch. I don't know if that means you just open up Netflix and like stream it, or if there's going to be a channel that's streaming that, or what. I would assume there's going to be more details coming up soon.
Yeah, it's probably only the League thing, but I mean that's still really cool.
Yeah. It's an interesting door to open. Because
there could be a lot of viability for them to just like partner with Netflix. I could see why they wouldn't because Prime, but you know.
Yeah. It's the first episode of the League of Legends show Arcane, which is an animated show that is coming out and highly anticipated, and I think a lot of people are excited for it in November. And that's not just because my wife works at Riot now. I think people are actually excited for it. So we'll see. I'm curious to see what that looks like and how that goes.
Speaking of that little point you just made, like, man, I have to say that a lot. Like, I find myself having to say, like, I'm actually enjoying this. Like, I know I'm getting sponsored stream, but this is good. I like it. I hope you fucking believe me.
Yeah. It's in the back of your mind.
I have to do that a lot too.
Yeah. It's definitely in the back of your mind all the time.
I think what a lot of like I'm noticing that because they're being more free with it, and it comes with practice. Being a sponsored fucking brand tool takes practice, and what I'm noticing is just they're being freer. So with it's not all positive, you know. They do have constructive criticism, which helps to balance it out and to appeal to the fact that you're not trying to sell to everybody. Like people are saying for sponsored streams and videos, like if you're into games like, you know, so and so, then this is for you. If you're not, then maybe pick it up on a sale. You know, like being extremely honest and being very consumer conscious has been extremely helpful in delivering sponsored messages and just, you know, that way that you continue enjoying it the way you normally enjoy it. And then being conscientious about it is what viewers really appreciate, is what I found in some research.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
What I appreciate a lot is the fact that, and this may sound weird, but the fact that they're hiring people like you, Clara, like to do the influencer shit. That, like, you know, I can like laugh and joke and, you know, poke fun and all that kind of stuff. Like, I've seen like some really hands off, like, here's the thing, do the thing, and 2 hours is done. And then sometimes they'll be like, yeah, say whatever you want. Like, and then it's like it's the person like that made the thing or that hired you or whatever, just like, you know, rolling with it the whole time. It's like, I'm glad it's moving more towards that. So you have like a direct, like more direct line rather than some, you know, esoteric bag of money that's like paying you something with no, like, you know, no personality.
100%. I had a conversation, and I guess I have to talk about this in like weird, generalized terms. I had a conversation with someone in the industry who I used to do sponsored stream with and no longer do sponsored streams with, and was very casual about like, hey, was this like, you know, what was the reasoning for this? And it wasn't just like a cold response. It was like, oh yeah, we're doing X, Y, and Z. And, you know, unfortunately you weren't part of that, but if it doesn't work out, we could definitely come back and revisit that. And just that conversation was like, oh, okay, great. I'm just going to move on about my day. There was no anxiety after that. It was just like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's just move forward. And so like the more that we have, I think, as influencers, it will help so much of like relationship building process between like influencer and marketing. Because that conversation, while so simple and so simplistic, actually like matters, right? It's not just being a cold facing company. I think honestly makes it so that one, if you do work with that company, it makes it hard to want to work with them again. If it's just like, here are your bullet points, here's some graphics, good luck, right? It's so much better when it's like, hey, if you need anything, here's my text, these are the graphics, all this type of stuff, right? Having a person to like interface with is so important. So yeah, I echo everything Zeke was saying. For people like yourself, Claire, it's very important.
I would say like every single panel, and I kind of consider this one a panel as well, that talks about influencer stuff is this is a relationships industry. You know, I straddle sort of like pure marketing production because I'm part of like all the steps, but I'm more towards the marketing side because all my heavy intense stuff is with the launches, with the heavy beats, right? But it's about the relationships. And when I was at the agency, I never hid any secrets of my. There were no secrets like of my methodologies and what I do because it is about the relationships. I tell them all the time. I send the same damn emails you do. The difference is they read mine. They'll respond to mine.
They're not a copy and paste.
Respond to my DMs.
Yeah.
They are copy paste though. That's
It's
the thing.
actually
Like,
a personal kind of.
like,
it feels more personal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what happens is like I have a relationship with them that they don't. So that's what they're paying for. Is like not the secrets, not the methodologies. I'm doing exactly like that's. There's nothing really magical about what I do. It's simply fostering relationships. I'm watching 3-4 streams 24/7. Just keep rotating. I'm just finding new people, talking to them, and I talk to them like humans. And being a streamer myself, like granted, I've only streamed like very little now, but it's just to kind of keep my feet dipped and unaware of the culture and what they're looking for and what they're not looking for, what turns them on and off. So that aspect of things is what my job is and what differentiates me from like a key distributor that they can just pay a quick license for or like just doing it themselves. Really like, I don't, what is an Ezekiel _I, you know, where I can be like, oh, what game is it? All right. Well, and I've played a lot of games as part of my job too. It's like, okay, I'm going to find people who have played these games and they're pretty, you know, like in your realm. And I can list off the top of my head and their rates, these 20 streamers and YouTubers that'll be great for what you're doing. Here are the beats. Here's the timing that would work for them and the way that you want to deliver it.
Wait a minute. So you have a list of what all the streamers get paid for doing stuff?
I can literally
get out. I really hope that something like that doesn't ever get out in the public.
I don't
That'd be terrible.
That would be awful.
Oh,
no. Really awkward.
Like number 726 or no, but like I can just like honestly like ballpark because I've been doing it for long enough.
Yeah, it makes sense. We did have like some weird breaking news that now has somewhat been remedied, and it's only pertaining because me and Zeke are massive Persona fans. I don't know if Jade or Clara, if you guys are as well. But
more of it.
Okay, Atlas put out a Atlas Owini 2021 costume contest, and in the prizes they say that you will get for Best in Show 1 digital code for Persona 5 Royale, available on the PlayStation 4, the PC, and Nintendo Switch. That game has not been announced for either Switch or PC yet. They have come out and put a tweet that says, if you saw the typo on the prizes, no, you didn't. So whatever that means.
Good one.
I don't
know. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Literally employed the Wizard of Oz method of trying to take care of it.
That's right. It's interesting to see. I mean, that's
pay no attention to the
yeah. One, that's a very strange tweet to see from Atlas, a very Japanese company, first of all. Two, if that's real, then those are coming out, and this contest ends November 5th. So I would think that potentially that announcement is looming, being that it's October the 20th. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. It seems to be
never saw us tweeting.
Yeah, that's what they should have done.
Yeah,
they should have gone with that. That would have been great as well.
Oh, that's really funny. I love that.
And then Zeke, being that it's your show, we do have the Golden Joystick
Yeah.
nominations, but we're 2 minutes out from normal break time. So you let me know what you want to do here.
Let's I think this is a good time to take a break.
Okay.
I always like taking breaks. Like I'm very like I it may not seem like it, but I'm very schedule oriented person. So I'm like, it's 1 minute till break. And I'm on it like 31 after. I'm like, JP, we taking a break today? Because I'd like to know if we're gonna take a break. Because it's weighing down on my mind. So yes, let's take a break. We'll be right back. We're going to be talking about the Golden Joystick Awards. We're going to be talking about this is the fun part of our show where we talk about, what we've been playing and all the games and stuff we nerd out about. We're going to talk about mainly indie games. And I'm sure, like, I just completed Indie Week on my channel where I did 5 days of nothing but indie games. So I've got a nice long list, and we'll compare notes, I'm sure. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We'll be back in what, 6 minutes, something like that. So get up, go pee, go do whatever you got to do, pack a bowl, and then come on back.